Hello viewers from wherever you're watching us from. You're watching QTV, the Gambia's first private TV station, and we are broadcasting live from our studios here on Kairaba Avenue. My name is Aliou Cisse, and like I said, it's your weekly State of Affairs program, your flagship current affairs program here on QTV, broadcast every Tuesday at 9 p.m. and repeated on Sunday at 10 a.m. Well, this week we ask a very tough questions. Are we truly safe, or are we simply being assured that we are safe? Well, that is the question at the heart of tonight's conversation. Well, everyday Gambians buy food from supermarkets, mini markets, restaurants, and other outlets with the basic expectation that it is safe for themselves and their families. And ultimately, the institution responsible for ensuring the confidence is the Food Safety and Quality Authority, FSQA. But in recent months, serious questions have been raised about the safety of food on our market, the effectiveness of inspection and enforcement, the prosecution of offenders, the handling of allegedly expired food products, and the independence and governance of the authority. There have also been public allegations concerning donations from businesses regulated by FSQA, the treatment of staff, and alleged personal relationship between the regulator and businesses within the food industry. Like I said, these are serious allegations, but hey, they are not convictions. And tonight, we are not here to pronounce anyone guilty. We are simply here to ask tough questions, test the claims against the facts, and give the persons at the center of many of these questions an opportunity to respond. So basically, is the Gambia's food safety system working as it should? Are our inspectors adequately empowered to protect consumers? When unsafe or expired products are discovered, what happens to them? And perhaps most importantly, can the public trust the regulator to regulate without fear, favor, or conflict of interest? Well, tonight, we put those questions to the Director General of the Food Safety and Quality Authority, Mr. MAMODOU. Digi, thank you so much for coming on the State of Affairs program.
Thank you, Aliou. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm saying hello to the viewers, and we will be discussing some pertinent issues today, and at some point it's about time that people understand the real issues that are actually surrounding the national food safety system, because it's a system and people need to understand it. I know this is not the appropriate forum to understand everything,
but certainly we will make them understand, and certainly also an opportunity to discuss so many issues. Like I said, I mean, there have been so much, headlines for the wrong reason as far as FSQA is concerned on social media. But like I said, after several years as Director General of FSQA, what is your single biggest achievement and what is your biggest failure?
Like I said, once it comes to food, food is the most essential commodity in life. I would quote our able chairman. He says that apart from the air that we breathe, food is the most essential commodity in life.
Chairman of
the board of directors,
okay.
FSQA. So, and also I would quote Dr. Claude Mosha of Tanzania, who said, if it is not safe, it is not food. And that slogan has been now adopted by the FAO, WHO. Now, coming back to the Food Safety and Quality Authority, I took over the authority in 2020, in end of April, May. And since then, there have been a lot of achievements that have been registered by the authority in terms of management and supported by governance. So I think we started with what we call stability. When I took over the institution, there was a lot of instability. And at the time, we had like 26 staff that were being sacked and sitting at home. So I think the first initiative that I did was, or we did, as management and governance, was to convince the governance to accept to reinstate all of those 26 without any, favoritism or any prejudice. So, and then I took the risk. I said, well, I will work with them. Since I'm going to supervise them, I need all the 26, and they were reinstated and paid for even the time that they were sitting at home. So, and stabilize the authority. The first steps is to put in place the tools, the management tools that are required to guide and steer management and governance through these hurdles. Now, one of the things that we didn't have at the time was a policy. And of course, then I felt like we are doing what we call a responsive or an impulsive system. So not truly guided by a robust and tangible policy that is tested and accepted by everyone. Then we started developing a policy. But what we didn't have also was a service rule, that is governing the daily running of the staff and how they should comport and how they should arrange in terms of employment and everything else spelled out. So we adopted a service rule for the first time, whereby staff could really relate to what their procedures are in terms of human resources. And then we also developed the first regulation, which is the registration and licensing regulation. Because if you look at the Act, Food Safety and Quality Act 2011, Section 31(1) and 32(a) 1, so no food business establishment should operate without registration, unless you are a registered entity by the FSQA. And then for that registration to happen, you are supposed to have to pay a prescribed fee. So, and being independent means that the Food Safety and Quality Authority does not only regulate private food businesses, but we also regulate public entities. And as a result, there should be some degree of autonomy or independence so that the institution will be empowered to make certain decisions outside that of central government. And, that is why we had to have some leverage in terms of financing, in terms of budgeting. So that's why that regulation helped us start establishing some resources outside of government. And all food business operators are complying. And then also we started introducing what we call the strategy plan. So again, we have completed that strategy plan, and we started decentralizing, because
that's 2026, 2030.
2026, 2030. And we started decentralizing in 2022, where we started opening offices in every region. And these offices, as I speak with you, they are functional, and they are most of them are not perhaps fully equipped, but then all our offices are fully equipped to run just like our offices in our head office. So we made sure that staff welfare is on the front line of our management policy and management strategy. So now, if you look at it, we go to the LUMOS. We are everywhere in every region. So that is increasing the outreach, because yes, like you said, inspection is one of the key factors that we do. Whether effective, adequate, that is something that we will discuss later.
Sure. Like you said, all these achievements, we will scrutinize them as we progress
yes.
into the program. Failures?
Failures, I think one of them is the digitalization. Because we live in a digital era, whereby paper-based functions are becoming obsolete, and we need to invest in technology to be able, for even these inspections that we are talking about, there should no more be a paper-based inspection. They should be digitalized, and the moment you finish your inspection, you click a button, it's already uploaded. We have also started that, but it's not fully operational. But our wish is that that should be operational to avoid some of the assumptions and some of the rumors, because of asking people that they are taking money, they are doing this. But let me tell you, even in our payment system, nobody accepts cash. The only way we accept cash is at the border point, whereby it is far and not accessible to a bank. But where you have a bank nearby, you go to the bank and make the payment, and you come and you bring your payment transfer or transaction.
Digitalization, one failure.
Yes.
Which one?
And then the other is the inadequate resources. In as much as
such as
resources like experts. in some of the specialized areas, because food safety system is about science, is about evidence, which is testing, and also is about law. You know, all of these have to be legal and lawful. Now, when it comes to testing, laboratories, these are one of the main challenges that we had. We had a small monitoring lab whereby we are looking at the science of the food, whether it has contaminants, whether it has other issues that are actually related to food safety. But also, when it comes to official control, which involves some form of enforcement action, we need to be able to test the products that we are enforcing on and make sure that we establish the science behind it and the evidence behind it for us to be able to even do some of these litigations and the prosecutions that people are talking about. So
we will get to that. Consumers continue to complain about expired, substandard, and certainly questionable, food products. Do you accept that food safety still remains a serious problem in the country?
No, I would not say that food safety is a serious problem in this country, because I visit a lot of countries, and I'm even the coordinator for the entire African continent. So I know what our strengths are, and I know what our weaknesses are. For substandard, I don't know what people call substandard, because meaning there is a lot of food fraud in the world, actually. And sometimes people present food that perhaps they say it is malrepresented in terms of labeling, in terms of packaging, in terms of content. So if you misrepresent, that is what we call food fraud. And it's happening all over the world. It is the biggest problem of food actually in the world. Now, substandard is people decide to import, because most of our food commodities are imported, and when they arrive, we check them, but the food is safe as it arrives, and when it enters, actually we call it post-market surveys, monitoring, which we do. That is when it enters the shelves in the supermarkets, shops, restaurants, all other places. Then that is sometimes where now you have the challenge of monitoring. And I think that is where inspection is very, very important.
In September 2023, the Kerfato reported you saying that expired foods was, quote, one of our least worries in the food control system. Well, in 2023, the Point newspaper reported that FSQA figure shows that 90.84% of confiscated food products in 2022 were expired. Just make me understand, if expired food represented more than 90% of confiscated food, why did you describe expired food as one of your least worries?
No, I think what I was saying is when it comes to risk, because food safety is about risk. You do the risk assessment, then you do the risk management, and you do the risk communication. These are the three components of food safety system. Now, when it comes to assessment, you do your risk assessment based on science, and then you present the actual risk of the food involved, the toxicity level, the maximum residue limits, and etc., etc. That's where you have the standards of that particular food. If it is a commodity, you have a commodity standard. Then you have what we call risk management. Now, then because the risks then are categorized into high risk, medium risk, and low risk. So now, if it is high risk, then that is automatic enforcement. Then you must seize those goods. You must stop them from being in contact with the consumer, because you have to put that barrier first, and then the next step is what you do with that commodity. Now, and then if the risk is medium or small, then where you apply what we call soft discretional management. And for example, if a food has contaminants of weevils, for example, it's a biological contaminant, it's a weevil, but then the weevil can be somehow separated from the, if it is rice, for example, it can be separated from the rice, but depending on the severity of the infestation, that rice may not be suitable for human consumption any longer, but you can manage the risk and say, okay, find a way of fumigating the rice and remove all these weevils, and then reprocess the rice into animal feed, into pellets, into other animal feed.
But this is worrying.
And that is
90% of confiscated food products in 2022 were expired.
Yeah, but look at the figure, the tonnage. You know, how much of food are we talking about in terms of quantity? Because that matters. How many tons are we, or how much tons are we ordering rice? Are we consuming in this country? You have to do what we call a consumption data, you know, to know what we are consuming, how much we are consuming in this country. And most of the food perhaps that comes here also are not destined for the country. Some of it is destined for the sub-region. That's why we have this transit, you know, RTLS is here. And some people order for other neighboring countries.
So let's talk about the people on the ground. I mean, I'm talking about the FSQA inspectors. I mean, how many food inspectors do you have currently? And is that number sufficient for the country?
The number is not sufficient for the country, you know. But again, like we said, we have to do an approach which is the risk-based inspection. We look at where the risk is high, then we focus on there. Where the risk is low or non-existent, then we pool our resources, and that's how it is done all over the world.
So how many inspectors did you have when you become the DG?
When I was DG, we had about 25 inspectors, and now we have close to 40 inspectors.
40?
Yes.
Okay.
Because we just recruited another 3 or 4.
So, I mean,
recently.
Because we really want to understand how this works. When an inspector finds an expired food, for example,
yes,
what can that inspector do immediately?
The inspector finds something that is expired,
yes,
or let's say something that is non-conforming.
Yeah.
Because expiry is not just things that we look at.
Yeah.
There are so
I'm
many
just giving an example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then what they will do is, depending on the amount of expired products. Okay. For example, if it is 1 or 2 or 3 containers, they will open them and dispose them on the spot. On the spot. On the spot disposal.
That's still happening?
Yeah, that's still happening.
But I understand, I mean, the inspection and enforcement were separated, I mean, during when you came in as DG. Oh, why did you make that change?
It's about accountability. You know, when an inspector visits and inspects, for example, finds something that is huge, again, depends on the severity of the finding. If it is huge, the inspector now will, what the inspector do, will detain, will confiscate and detain the product. Then, based on the report, they will submit it to the Directorate of Regulatory Affairs, and the Regulatory Affairs now will come, that are responsible for enforcement. They will come and start arranging the enforcement actions necessary.
But doesn't the separating detection from, I mean, enforcement kind of create a gap in which maybe an unscrupulous trader can perhaps move or conceal the product before enforcement officers arrive?
No, because if you tamper with that, you are tampering with the law. I mean, if for example, something that we confiscate, I have never had a case, I think it happened only once or twice, where we had confiscated items, and then the businessman or whatever person tampers with that consignment. It happened in my entire 6 years career, I think only twice.
So what is the maximum time between, I mean, the inspector identifying, I mean, this unsafe food and the enforcement happening, the enforcement actually taking place?
So, well, it depends between 10 to 24 hours. And again, for example, if the quantity is big, it requires some disposal. Then that is not only the FSQA that will act on it. Our other stakeholders, for example, the council, who controls the dumping sites. Also, we have the National Environment Agency, who controls the environment, because you cannot just dump anything anywhere. We have regulations. So, and now these players are now invited to come in, and there is an arranged disposal that is done.
But I mean, I understand after the inspector had identified, I mean, this unsafe, I mean, food in the market, the person is required to go back to the office, prepare a report, which have to be scrutinized before the enforcement officers are asked to go and do the enforcement.
Yes, that's correct.
How guaranteed is that?
Yeah, but you cannot be the judge, jury, and executioner at the same time. So again, there have to be some checks and balances. So that's what I'm saying. So if, for example, you leave it, in fact, what you are saying is even more riskier if the same inspector does everything. Who is there to check? So, but at least if the inspector finds what some violations or non-compliance, then they report it to the authority and they report it to the director of enforcement.
So
that's our
FSQA
that's our legal entity.
Exactly. FSQA has the power to take enforcement action. How many food businesses have actually been prosecuted and convicted under your leadership?
Prosecution, it depends, we have, businesses you have entities, you also have individuals, So that's why you have the solo businesses. But we have the entities, which are the establishments. For the past 6 years, we have prosecuted, I know of 3. 1?
3?
Yeah, 3. Yes.
But according to an audit, you haven't prosecuted anyone.
Then the audit is not right.
What happened to those cases then when they are prosecuted?
I'll tell you.
Or give us names of businesses that were prosecuted for violating this.
No, I'll come. Okay. I'm coming. The first one was, I think, a violation involving some shop that they were trying to rebag some rice that was infested with weevils. Then this matter was taken for prosecution, and up to date, we have no result. Then the other one was when we had some people that were using tires and then processing this cow candor around the bushes of Abuko and the surrounding. These people we also took for prosecution. They even pleaded guilty, some of them, and up to now we don't have a judgment. So, and the other one is there is a mayonnaise that was confiscated as well, and up to date also. That case is not closed.
Who will you blame for that?
Who would I blame for that?
Yes.
I don't know. I'm not blaming anybody, but I'm saying that maybe it's got to do with our legal system.
How?
How? Well, I don't know, because for me, all I can do, if something that is supposed to be prosecuted, we are not prosecutors, we hand it over to the prosecuting agency. So, and they do the rest.
In the case, you mean the police?
The police, and yes. So they are the ones prosecuting.
And that's the only cases you have?
Yeah, those are the only 3 cases that we have.
Let's come to the flour consignment that was publicly reported as allegedly expired and consequently became the subject of FSQA inspections.
Yes.
What exactly did FSQA find?
Well, I think the flour, that flour had, it had so many issues, actually. Okay. The first thing is when it arrived, we suspected that it was not fortified. And we have a regulation that says, fortification regulation, that says all wheat flour should be fortified in the country. And there were some amount of fortificants that we expect that flour to meet. Now, when the flour came, so we suspected that it wasn't fortified.
Who imported it?
We had, one was Shaib and Mahdi, and the other one was, is it MJ? I can't remember. I can't remember. But there were 2 different consignments.
How much are we talking about? How many tons?
It's a lot. It's a lot of flour. It's a lot. I can't remember the tonnage.
So what happened? Was it formally seized, detained, yes, recalled, yes, or simply inspected? It
was formally seized, confiscated, detained, and we did the necessary testing in Dakar. So we collected samples and tested for fortificants, that is iron. I think they all, I know they all passed, and that is why they were released. And I think they were detained for more than 2 weeks, actually, before they were released for the businesses to start selling them. And I think about a year or so later, then we came across the flour, the same flour that was actually spoiled, and it had like it was caked and wet because of I think storage conditions.
Also imported by Cyber and MAMODOU?
No, the same flour.
Okay,
the same flour that we first confiscated.
Yeah. That you released in the market.
Yeah.
You also found again it was. What happened to that one?
It was not fit for consumption anymore.
So what's the difference between the one that you release back into the market and the one you are saying is not fit for consumption?
That was fit for consumption. I said the flour sat for like 1 year.
Isn't it the same consignment that you went to inspect?
Yeah, it's the same consignment.
So how comes, I mean, one part of the consignment is fit for consumption and the other part is not fit for consumption?
No. I don't
okay, make me understand.
Wrong.
Okay.
I said after being in the market for almost a year. That's what I'm saying. It was in the market, they were being sold, and I think the other partner sold all his flour, and I think the Cyber Mahdi had that flour that was affected, and that is the flour that we again confiscated.
So what happened to it?
And detained.
So what happened to it?
The flour.
Where is the flour now?
The flour is being reprocessed to animal feed.
At where?
In Mauritania. It is reprocessed to animal feed, and for us, because that is something that, again, like I said, we have this risk management, and the flour, there is a company that brought the documentation and confirmed that they will reprocess this to animal feed, and it was actually transported to Mauritania.
Who authorized the release of this flour to be sent to Mauritania, as you claim?
Yeah, we released under supervision.
By who?
FSQA.
FSQA, you the MD, you the DG.
Yeah, we are the ones detaining it, so we are the only one who can release it. Yeah.
But I mean, if something is found not fit for consumption, why will you still allow the one who imported it to take it to another country?
No, it's not even the one who imported it. It's another buyer from Mauritania who came and took it and took it to Mauritania for reprocessing.
Who took the proceeds of that reselling?
Well, it's the business owner. That's between the arrangement of the two businesses. That's not our business.
Interesting. So, are you ready to publish, to make these documents, all these transfer to the public?
Yeah, like I said, you know, everything that I say is documented. So anybody who is interested in knowing the actual facts and the actual documentation, they are more than willing to come and see them.
But what happened here? The imported reportedly disputed the allegation and indicated an expiry date of January 2026. We are now in August 2026. So what happened to that consignment after January 2026?
I don't get it. January 2026?
Yeah.
Then if it is expired in January 2026, it should not be sold. It should be either disposed.
So whose responsibility or who should take the blame for allowing such in the market?
Well, where such in the market?
Yeah.
Where there?
Well, I'm just asking.
Well, I'm asking too.
Because there are reports that, I mean,
because you are insinuating that the product was in the market.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
that's the allegation, that's the reports we are getting.
No, well, I mean, if there is any proof, let them bring it. The product was not in the market for sale. It was not.
So, I mean, like I said, I mean, the FSQA is a very important institution in promoting safety in our country. Governance, of course, the board and the concentration of power. Does the FSQA currently have a legally constituted board whose mandate is valid?
Yes, they do.
Are you sure, DG?
Yes, I'm sure.
Who are the board members?
Well, the board members are there. You know, the board members are appointed.
But I understand the board's mandate has expired.
Well, I mean, having expired doesn't mean that you are not functional.
But it is just obvious after the board's mandate has expired, it's just obvious that, you know, you constitute another new board.
Yes,
so why are you keeping a board that's mandate has expired there?
That is happening. There is what we call transition. That is happening. Transition is a must. A board should not just walk away and leave an institution ungoverned.
When did the mandate of the current board expire?
Well, I think it expired this year.
This year?
Yes.
So, and do you plan constituting a new board?
I'm saying we're working on it. It's already ongoing.
So, is it true also that
and we don't constitute the board? I think it's the executive that constitute the board.
So, I mean, do you also? I mean, we have information that some board members are not just receiving sitting allowances, but they're also receiving salaries.
No, there is no board member that is receiving a salary. All board members are receiving allowances, and their board sitting allowances are put in a monthly form, and that allowance is given to them on a monthly basis. That is what is happening. And when they sit, they are not paid any allowance. So it's their sitting allowances accumulated, and that is giving us an allowance on a monthly basis.
Earlier on,
and that is what is in our service rule.
Yes, in fact, I'm coming to the service rule. Earlier on, at the start of the program, you were highlighting the achievements, and you mentioned the issue of the service rules. Did you change the service rules to give yourself or give the DG the appointment and dismissal authority over approximately 95% of the FSQA staff?
There was no service rule.
There was no service rule?
No. When I came,
how was FSQA operating all these years?
Ask me. There was no service rule. So that's why I am saying that one of my achievements is to establish a service rule. That's what I said.
And so why have you given yourself so much powers to be able to sack, appoint maybe 95% of the staff of FSQA?
Well, it's not about me having powers or giving me powers. We are adopting best practice. We are adopting standards that are found in every institution. You know, the Director General has powers, and those powers are limited to the junior staff, you know, hiring and firing. And then the senior staff is the mandate of the board, you know, so that is how it is separated.
So can an ordinary FSQA employee challenge your instruction without fearing that, I mean, he or she might lose her job?
I'm having that every day. So yes, you can. You can have, there is even dispute resolutions or appeal cases to the board. There is everything is documented. Everything is procedural.
And you've never punished any staff for challenging your authority or challenging certain decision that you might take?
No, I have never, apart from 2 staff that have refused to go on posting.
Why?
You know?
Why?
Why what?
Why didn't they want to go on posting?
Well, they had their own reasons. You know, they had their reasons, and we tabled them, and over management discussed with them. We gave them all the time that was necessary, and they said they were not going. So
what happened to them?
I sacked them.
Just because they don't want to go on posting?
Yes.
What gave them the audacity to challenge your authority to say, DG, we are not going on posting?
I don't know. But I had the audacity to sack them with confidence, and I'm still here. And they have every right or everything to challenge that decision in a court of law or in any, you know, legal entity. I'm okay with that.
Because the reason why, because I know the last time I had you on this program was 4 or 5 years ago, and since then there have been so much, I mean, allegations around you and FSQA. And it's good that when you are here, we put some of these allegations to you for you to react, for the public to make their own judgment. I know some of the questions might not be really, you know, nice to answer, but that's why we are here. Public allegations have been made concerning 2 female FSQA employees who allegedly or accuse you of sexual harassment and were subsequently suspended. Did those complaints arise?
No, they were not suspended. I think they were suspended because they refused to go on posting.
Those are the 2 staff you are referring to?
2 female staff.
Okay.
And it persisted, and at the same time, we give them every single opportunity for them to change their mind and to accept, and they refused.
So the accusation of sexual harassment, did that arise?
Arise where?
As part of their allegations. Like I said, these are allegations that...
Well, yes, you know, I mean, people are entitled to say whatever they want, but for me, what I'm interested in is procedural.
Are you denying that the complaints were made, or are you saying the allegations were false?
I think both. No one has come and accused me of anything.
Because, I mean, Public social media reports have raised these allegations, of course, including a Watson Gambia post and a subsequent in-depth TV Gambia follow-up. I mean, which actually made these allegations. I mean, like I said, I mean, these are just allegations, and it's good that we put them to you for you to be able to answer to some of these. I mean, some of these allegations. So, who ordered the suspension?
Which suspension?
Of these two staff?
No, I think everything is procedural, Aliu. I mean, is everything went through procedure? The documentation are all there. Everything was documented and everything is procedural.
So was there an independent investigation into the allegations?
Yeah, no, what allegations are you talking about?
This sexual harassment that, I mean, that was being reported in social media.
I don't think I would bring myself down to that level to be answering that kind of question. Because for me, all I'm saying is that it was a procedural, and I think I have told you the reasons why they were suspended and why they were later terminated and sacked, and I stand by that. And
you deny the allegations?
Well, there are no allegations. I don't know of any.
Okay.
You know.
Let's now come to the issue of donation letters. People are saying that is conflict of interest. Did you personally sign letter asking food importers and distributors to donate building materials, furniture, computers, printers, and vehicles to FSQA?
That's false. That's absolute false.
Are you saying
computers, printers, and whatever? That's absolutely false. You know, Ali, let me tell you one thing. You know, and I think that's not the main reason I'm here. And I think you know, social media is social media.
And that's why I'm giving the opportunity just for you to you know,
so
clarify some of these issues.
Saying.
Because I know you hardly have these kind of interviews, so at least people get to hear from your side as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But you know, these people are content creators. You know, so and that is why I accepted the invitation.
Exactly.
Because I said to myself, I'm not bringing myself down to that level. Have you ever heard me respond to any of these things? The answer is no. If I have to respond to any of these things because I feel it might be in a court of law, you understand? Then whereby we will both put up evidences, they will put up the evidences for the allegations, and I'll put up mine. So then we are arbitrated by law. And I'm even considering that route as we speak, you know, because, but I have not responded to any of these things that are being put up in the social media. And I think they are content creators. I feel that, you know, they are not basically, I think, fair to the people that they are trying to tarnish their images. And I think it's important that they put their facts straight and report straight. And I believe that with all the noise that has been made, if they had any evidence, they would have brought it forward. But as we speak,
there's a letter that's being circulated online, and it bears your signature as the Director General of Food Safety and Quality Authority.
Let me come to that letter.
Exactly.
Every quarter, we see as senior management, we go around the country and we visit every staff of the authority, because that's what I had promised myself to do as best practice, as good management. And we discuss their issues, their challenges, and we try to resolve them after that, you know. So we go in every corner. So now, over the years, in our in our decentralization drive, so we have been allocated land in Sarengai. Okay. And this particular letter is referring to Sarengai. It's not referring in URR. Okay. It's not referring to any other place or body. It's specific to Sarengai. And we discussed as management, because we have been given that land, we are not able to raise the funds or the resources to build it. Then management, we discussed, and we said, okay, how about we approach some of the food businesses and other businesses? It's not only food businesses. And we said other businesses. Yeah. So then we said, okay, that is something. Maybe we can do it like a shared cost approach, and then maybe build a post. In fact, it's just a field post. It's not even like an office, or it's a field post. So that was the idea. That was what was behind that letter. So
meaning at the time, FSQA didn't have the budget for that office?
No.
To build that office?
No.
And why would a regulator ask businesses it regulates to finance or provide equipment to the regulator?
I mean, there is a thin line between conflict of interest and professionalism. And yes, some people might view it as conflict of interest, and I wouldn't blame them if they say so, because it might seem, depending on how you interpret it, it will seem like there is conflict of interest. And if people say so, I accept. There might be some conflict of interest.
So were these donations recorded in FSQA's accounts?
We didn't receive a penny, Ali.
What happened?
That's the funny thing about all of these. You know, in fact, is all this, you know, hullabaloo that this letter is creating. I swear to God, we have not received one single penny about it. Some people said that, okay, we will offer rods, we will offer this, but you know, so even the design was done free of charge for us by somebody. So we have not received a penny, Ali, from this. So actually, yes, it might, like I said, some people, some very serious professionals may interpret it as conflict of interest, and I would not deny that. But what I'm saying is that it was done out of good interest, and because out of our desire to see this, what's it called, that field post actually open, you know, given the enthusiasm of the community. In fact, we were driven by the community enthusiasm in Sarengai.
That will have been my question. Why is Sarengai? Why is Sarengai so special that, you know, you have to build an office there, to the extent that you even have to write to food importers and other stakeholders to support you in building that office?
It's the location, Aliu. The location of Sarengai.
It's in URR.
It's in URR. It's in hard to reach, and they have one of the biggest lumos around that end, you know. And it is at the border of Senegal and the Gambia. So that is why we have a lot of food items coming in and out that may not be controlled. So, and out of our desire, we were looking at potential areas where we can open field offices, like in our decentralization agenda. And that is why we selected Sarengai. It was strategic. And
was the board consulted in this whole thing?
No, board does not interfere with management.
Okay.
Like I said, management is quite independent of the board. We report to the board. They approve, you know, certain policy decisions and certain administrative decisions, but not as something like we want to build this post. Yes, they approve. You know, if we had it in the budget, meaning they have approved it, because it's already budgeted for us to build it.
Bring us up to speed about the Kerawan Regional Office. How far have you gone with that?
We had challenges in the Kerawan Regional Office. We have started it, and you know, this came to a business model, and we are continuing that business models actually. So, and we would want to continue to Basse and to Janjambure after Kerawan. I think we had a lot of challenge in Kerawan, the contractor not finishing on time. So us following the contractor for a long time, but finally things are moving again.
Who's the contractor?
It's Masata.
Masata.
Yes.
How was he selected for this project?
Went through the normal procurement procedure. Very, very clear, very transparent.
And what is the total cost value of this project?
It was 5 million.
5 million.
Yeah.
Funded from FSQA budget, or you took a loan?
Yeah, I said it was cost sharing. It was funded, partly was funded by our bank, where we bank, and partly was funded by FSQA.
Was that a loan from the bank? Or?
Yeah, it was financing from the bank, agreed financing. And we used our cash flows as collateral. So we did not put any physical collateral.
One will ask, why did FSQA need commercial borrowing?
Every institution needs commercial borrowing. Tell me what institution that doesn't need commercial borrowing? Everyone does. Just being honest.
And if there is one thing that you will point to today as the biggest challenges facing FSQA, what will that be?
Social media.
Oh.
Actually, yes.
But by the way, are you serious about the legal action you threatened to take against?
I am serious.
Against Watson Gambia?
I am dead serious. What's stopping me? I am dead serious. It's defamatory, you know, it's slander, and I'm human. So why not? If I have to, I'm a Gambian citizen, I can exercise my rights.
But there seems to have so much evidence.
That's what I want. Let them bring out the evidence. I want them to bring out every single evidence that they have against FSQ, not even FSQA, let's say against the DG, because this one is all about the DG anyway. So against the DG, I want them to bring out every single evidence. I dare them. Let them bring it out and put it on the public domain.
And the other thing that's also dominating the social media, because like I said, it's good that you are here, and it's good that you also share your side of everything that's happening, and then the public, the viewers will make their own judgment. Do you own a land in Jara Karantaba?
I do.
When did you acquire it?
I can't remember, 2-3 years ago, I think, yeah. I bought it for $60,000.
$60,000?
Yes, Aliu, I have my receipt, $60,000. All these talks we're talking about is just a piece of land that's about $60,000.
For what purpose?
I intend to actually, one of the things was to use it as perhaps as an investment. Actually, I didn't need it. It was just an opportunistic, kind of impulsive buying. It's not that I even planned to own that land or anything, It's just I was there, and then one of my drivers said there is this piece of land being sold, and I went to look at it. It was ideal spot, and I said to him, okay, I'm interested. So we discussed with the owner and everything. And I paid him.
So what's your response to the allegations that, businessmen connected to food importing and distribution companies actually offer to construct a guest house for you there?
I wish. Honestly, I wish, Aliu. I wish. Absolutely. But it's buggers. It's not true. It's absolute false.
Will you support an independent investigation?
Oh,
to establish whether such an offer was made?
Aliu, if I was at any shady or anything that is doubtful, or look, we have a serious government. I work directly under the office of the Vice President, and these are serious institutions. You understand? So I think they would have actually picked it up and known that this is happening. And nothing stops anybody. The national audit, internal audit. In fact, I've been audited anyway. Especially internal audit just finished their audit end of last year. Yeah. So my books, and 2 weeks ago I was at the National Assembly defending our performance audit. You understand? So we are one of the pilots.
According to the allegation also was that
we are one of the
there
pilots.
was this FSQA driver and vehicle that was involved in transporting these purported businessmen who promised to build that guest house for you to Jara.
Aliu, that was my own vehicle. It's FSQA 11. I don't own an SUV or a Land Cruiser or anything.
So what was your vehicle doing there then?
Let me
it's
tell
good
you.
that you confirm that it's your own vehicle.
Let me tell you. Yeah. This vehicle is allocated to me. I don't have a vehicle. This is the vehicle I use. It's a pickup. You understand? So, and actually what happened was I was going to visit one of the onion farms in Bondali, So, and I have heard about this onion farm, and of course it belongs to what's the guy name again? MK. Okay. It belongs to MK. So, and I wanted to see, because they were introducing some new technology in farming, and I wanted to witness it myself to see what it entails. And then as I was going there, so I happened to go with one of the other business partners, and we went to, I said, look, I have a plot of land in Soma. I haven't been there for some time. I want us to go there since it's far, so let's go there. So in fact, I even chose the driver that took us is also my driver.
From Bondali to Karantaba is very far,
It's Soma.
From Bondali to Jara Karantaba?
No, wait, hang on. I said we start from there first.
Okay.
We started from there. Then we ended back, and then we had lunch at the farm. You understand? So, and I was looking at the farm. I had interest in seeing how it operates. And Aliu, if you'd ask me, for example, and even when I left the farm, I even posted some of. But I usually don't even post things on my personal page or personal, what's called media. But I even posted the farm in my media because I was impressed. And I was saying, look, you know, these are the things that the Gambia need. We need more of these so that we can reduce our expenditure when it comes to importing. We can control the safety and quality, enforce a new kind of food quality and safety in our country, and eat fresh.
So we're running out of time. Have you discussed these allegations with anyone at the office of the president?
No. Again, it's false. I've never discussed it with anybody at the office of the president or at in fact, any government official for that matter.
Do you think you have been protected by maybe someone close to the corridor of power?
Aliu, I am protecting myself by being truthful, by being honest, and by having the documentation necessary to be there for anyone to come and look. So that's my protection. My protection is being straightforward and being honest and doing the right thing, and that's exactly what I'm doing. Anybody who thinks is contrary, you are free to come to the institution and look for yourself.
What legacy will you like to be remembered as DG of FSQA?
Well, I have already made my legacy, Aliu. You know, before FSQA, at the moment, Aliu, I am not only the DG of FSQA, I am the FCC Africa coordinator, coordinating the entire continent of Africa. So it's an achievement that no Gambia has never achieved before, and it's built on trust and confidence. You think these countries in Africa, like all these heavyweights, Nigeria, Ghana, Sierra Leone, Kenya, Senegal, all these big heavyweights in food safety and all these experts where you have adequate experts, they select me to lead them? You think that is something small, you know?
If an independent investigation is conducted and you are found guilty, will you resign?
Yeah, of course. I wouldn't even resign. I want to ask them to prosecute me.
Your final message to viewers regarding FSQA, food safety, and for many people who perhaps have been having that misconception about FSQA and with all the allegations around inspection, food safety, and all that, look them into the camera and give them one assurance.
I just ask them to lower the noise. Let them allow us to do our work. And we are professionals. We are honest. I trust my staff. We have integrity. And we have actually courage at the FSQA. Nobody stops us. Nobody deters us from doing our work. Even those that have tried to intervene in us making those decisions, we have defied them. So I don't think the noise will distract us, and we are moving forward with our mandate.
To your staff?
To my staff, keep doing the great job that you're doing, and I have every faith in you. So keep it up, and I will make sure that we work together, get closer as a team, and we move and do what is impossible.
Thank you so much. Director General of the Gambia's Food Safety and Quality Authority, Mr. MAMODOU Bah. Thank you so much for coming on the State of Affairs program and for sharing your side of all these allegations around you. And it was good you also come here and just for the public to also hear from your side and make their own judgment. Once again, thank you so much for coming on the program. Well, viewers, with that, we bring an end to this week's edition of your weekly State of Affairs program. I was your host, Aliu Cisse. Do join us next week. Until then, bye-bye from me and the entire team.